Big time news about the July Robotica 2022 event. Teams like Team Toad and Team Bad Kitty, among some other exciting teams, joined the foray as the event has brought some really big news to the public at the end of May. We're talking about all of that here at the Combot Collective.
Oh my God! Wow! This is the biggest flame we've ever seen.
Has preserved enough energy to get in the flip on Carbine. We're going to go all the way.
飞到了，水果的翻身。
Oh my God! That's going to hurt. Grab the milk, Kenny.
Welcome to the Combots Collective.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another news episode of the Combat Collective here, bringing you everything you want to know about the world of robot combat, from the heavyweight class to the flyweight class, from BattleBots to the live circuit. And it has been a couple days, I do apologize, but we're here with the news yet again. And like I said at the start, we're talking about a little bit of Robotica here, and we're doing a bit of catch-up here, because at the end of May, Mark Elam and David Burnett, members of the Houston Area Robot Combat Group, and the co-runners of Robotica 2022, which is going to be the largest robot combat event in Texas in, I would say, about the last 15 years, has recently made some exciting news regarding entry fees for the 2022 Robotica event. Firstly, as made public on multiple Discord servers and the BattleBots subreddit, Mark Elam would announce the following on May 25th, quoting here, "Super important news, we've gotten enough sponsorship money for Robotica at this point to where teams no longer need to pay for entry fees. Teams will still need to get Comicpalooza weekend passes for the 150 gram to 30 pound robots. And for the heavyweights, please reach out to us for special handling." With this exciting news, entry fees, which were originally a hot topic of conversation for this Robotica event, are now waived as long as teams have the Comicpalooza passes, it seems. This has seriously opened the floodgates for Robotica, as for the past couple of weeks, we have seen some really exciting teams enter the competition. And we're talking about four of those teams right here, some really prominent names which have recently signed up for some of the bigger bot classes, from the 12-pound class to the heavyweight class. And we start smallish here first, talking about that 12-pound heavyweight class, as we talk about a robot that we've seen make some serious strides within the last month at Norwalk Havoc. Of course, talking about Florida from Rogers Robotics, Dropkick. This is a robot that is coming to Houston fresh off a second place finish at the May NHRL event, taking second to Yob Null, but managing to qualify for that Norwalk December finals. We also saw Dropkick go all the way back in November, placing second at the Robot Ruckus event that happened then, going second to Bobby, which is another popular ender cutter that we've seen compete in Norwalk prior. So now Rogers Robotics and Dropkick are going for gold here in Houston. This will be the third event they've competing in just as many states, going from Florida to Connecticut, now to Texas. It'll be interesting to see if Dropkick can make it over that silver plateau and finally go for the gold. Only time will tell, but with the field that we've seen so far for the heavyweight class, I think they're in a good position to go far in this event. But of course, we can't talk about this Houston event without talking about the Houston Mainstays. Team War Easy are back in the fray yet again, a team that gets brought up quite a bit here at the Combat Collective, of course. Hometown favorites of mine. The team that, of course, they're going to be arriving in the 3-pound and 12-pound class with their new signature robots, Warhard, the Beetleweight, and Warhard XL, the Hobbyweight. They had some rough outings at Norwalk at the beginning of the year, but they always perform really solid in the Texas events. Of course, we just saw them compete at College Station just a couple weeks ago. But the team is also bringing a heavyweight robot called Pneumatic, spelled Nuematik. I would assume it's a flipper. You would have to guess it's a flipper with that name, maybe a crusher of some sort. But there is no image on this robot right now, no updates, period, nothing on the Discord servers or anything whatsoever. Hopefully we'll get some updates on this robot before the event. But getting to some of the hotter commodities, entering the heavyweight class in our second half of our robots that we're talking about here. One robot that's looking to be very busy this summer, from Remar's All-Stars to Robotica here in July, is Mad Catter, of course, captained by Martin Mason, driven by Calvin Eba. They will be competing under the contractual name Happy Catter, of course, at this event. But it will be the same robot that you will see at Las Vegas, the same robot that we're likely going to see in Bounty Hunters and competing in or have competed in BattleBots 2021 that we just saw. This robot will likely be running an axe or lifter only setup given the sportsman nature of the event, but with a driver like Calvin Eba and the captainship and the star power of Martin Mason, that this robot's going to come out there and it's going to be probably the hottest contender, the robot a lot of the fans are going to be expecting to win this event, myself included. We've seen what Calvin Eba has done in BattleBots in the heavyweight class, and especially in the featherweight class with Mixtape and Lynx earlier in the year. He's a fantastic driver, and he's going to have time behind the sticks recently thanks to Remars. He's going to be pretty hot. He's going to be pretty ready to go into this event. You have to think so. But perhaps the most buzzworthy of all the recent revivals in this event would be none other than Team Toad themselves. Of course, we talked about this a little bit on the Combat Collective Instagram lately. Team Toad will be making their grand return to Robot Combat after 3 years of hiatus. The last time we saw the Fuzzy Malden, the Team Toad crew, was all the way back at BattleBots 2019 when Texas Twister made a pretty solid push to the top 16, top 24, whatever you want to call it that year. They went 2-2. They landed some solid victories against robots like Black Dragon, but ended up falling short thanks to a loss against Son of Waiachi and Whiplash. The team said they were going to start bowing out of BattleBots, and it looks like they were done with Robot Combat altogether, especially considering that in these sportsman events, Texas Twister wouldn't work. The robot is 80% weapon pretty much, so it obviously wouldn't be legal. You would expect maybe like hypothermia or polar vortex to appear in this event, but Team Toad has made an interesting move, choosing to bring back Avalanche 1.0 for this competition out of retirement. The career 2-6 Avalanche last fought at RoboGames 2011, an event better known by the common fan as the Science Channel's Killer Robots, hosted by the late Grant Imahara. Avalanche made one televised appearance, losing a fight against the Great Pumpkin, which is now, interestingly enough, known as Swamp Thing, applying for BattleBots this year, and then bowing out of the competition. That version of Avalanche, though, was the 2.0 version, and it was a more designed like your classic Frostbite we saw in BattleBots back in the day. Just a straight plow in the front, 4-wheel drive, 8 tires, just designed all for pushing plower. Avalanche 1.0, though, had a 360-degree lifting arm, kind of something similar you would see to a Breaker Box or Duck in the prior BattleBot seasons that we've had. But this robot fought all the way back at the 2009 Combots Cup. So we're talking about nearly 15 years of inactivity for this specific robot here. Coming into action, and we have some interesting info on the robot itself, as according to events co-runner Mark Elam, Fuzzy will be running this robot with very minimal upgrades, and it's going to be almost a full decade behind the current meta, of course. Mark even stated that Avalanche 1.0 will be using NiCad T64 batteries, so Fuzzy would have zero worries in terms of weight and in terms of like safety risk. Mark said that while power likely won't be an issue with the new Avalanche, he does worry a good bit about speed, which I can see being an issue, especially with robots like Claw Viper and Mad Cat are applying for this event. In closing, David Burnett also provided some exciting news as a cherry on top of all this. Robotica will be returning for 2023. This is exciting news as it is the first U.S. live event confirmed for next year, and with the improvements to the Robot Ruckus Arena that we're going to be seeing at the July event. And it's pretty much had these improvements every event, to be honest. It's exciting to see where the state of the sport is going to end up, this time next year, with hopefully more and more live events being added to the calendar. We will be bringing more news, of course, about Robotica later on within these couple of months before the event finally goes down. We're about a month away from the big competition. It's super exciting to see. And we haven't even talked about all the big applicants that are, I say applicants, I'm so used to applicants, the entries that are entered this event so far. More BattleBots teams, some other veteran teams that are likely going to be joining the mix. So we're really excited to be talking about all of that. But whether you wish to compete or support Robotica, you can keep an eye on them by following their event at robotcombatevents.com page in the description below, and keep an eye out for this event's upcoming advertisement as well. I've recently done a little bit of work with the Robotica crew and done some things, including helping put together the commercial that they're going to be using to promote their upcoming event. So I'm trying to put my hands in a little bit of a new little thing there. Hopefully I can help with that. But we're just going to have to see how that comes out. But that's going to do it for us in terms of news here at the Combat Collective. Thank you so much for watching. I am Sterling Brown. You can find me on Instagram at SterlingTXTG, and you can find me in future projects later on this year. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and for YouTube, please subscribe. Please give us a like. Please give us a comment. We enjoy all your feedback and support. And hopefully we can bring you more news videos later on this month. I know it was a very slow start to the month, had a lot of personal things going on. But it's starting to smooth out here. Can focus a little bit more on TCC and some of these other things that we're doing. We know Remars is coming up. We want to do a BattleBots prediction episode on that. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for hopefully some Extreme Robot stuff as well. I don't know when they're going to be posting full events, because there hasn't been nothing from Panoramic or the Ironclad's team due to NDA. So only a matter of time. Hopefully we'll get some more news on that. But I'm starting to ramble here. This has been the Combat Collective, and we will see you again next time for another news episode.
This was the Combat Collective. Find us on Instagram and Discord.